So we're here with Jamie from Sludj Games.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Not too bad.
Good. How's the show so far?
Good, brilliant. I think my legs are going to fall off at some point within the next couple of days. Too much standing up.
I was saying you're only a day and just over a half in.
It was about 10 minutes in. 10 minutes in, I'm like, oh, my skeleton.
So we've just had a quick go on Wrongworld.
Yes.
And it's your open world surreal survival game that's available now on Steam.
It is available now. I'm doing the beautiful thing where I completely forgot to do press while I was developing the game, and I chase it now 3 months later after it's launched.
Excellent. Let's start off. Just tell us a bit about the game itself and what people can expect.
Well, I have to use this comparison just because it helps, because it's such a popular game that I'm going to compare it to.
Yeah.
It helps people grasp it. But the inspiration for the game originally was, I wonder if I could make Don't Starve style game in 3D.
Yeah.
And so I set about doing that several years ago, and we've ended up with a pretty surreal, as you might agree, now you've played it,
Yes,
a pretty
I think
surreal
that's it.
survival game with a hefty slice of silliness and low poly craziness aplenty.
Yeah. I think it's fair to say craziness, given that one of the first things we've done is nut a tree down.
Yeah.
That was
Headbutting
certainly not done that in the
when you
game
don't have
before.
an axe and you need to chop a tree down, what do? You headbutt it
Headbutt
repeatedly.
I had a lightsaber on one hand, but yeah, so even when I thought I'd be using a lightsaber to chop one down, nope, still the head.
No, that was it, like I was saying, because it's a tough game to demo. Survival games are tough because at a show like this, you want someone to sit down with it for an hour or two and really play it, and that's just not going to happen. So that's why you get a little free gift after you've been playing it for a few minutes in the form of a late game lightsaber.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's handy. So this is very much a build for the show, but the game that's on Steam, what can people expect when they first...
They can expect a permadeath survival game,
Right.
but a game that rewards you if you do die to lessen the impact of the death, unlocking extra things for next time. There's an easy mode as well, so people who hate permadeath, which I've found out is quite a lot of people.
Yeah.
I realised people really struggle with permadeath. I've added easy mode, creative mode, so basically I'm trying to make the game offer as many different options so it pleases everyone. Not only because I think that makes the game better, but also so I don't have to keep answering the same questions on the forum over and over again.
Well, I was going to ask that. How's the community? Because we've not played it on Steam, but I've had a look and I've seen the updates and seen it's quite very
I'm sure
positive.
I can't imagine any developer ever would say, oh, my community's toxic and I hate them all. But no, genuinely, my community's brilliant and I love them. They have over 9 months of early access.
Yeah.
They helped me. Because the problem is we're making a game in isolation for 3 years. You've lost all objectivity at the end of it. Literally, when the game launched, what is now the hard mode is a toned down version of what the only mode was when the game launched. Because I was so close to it and therefore not bigging myself up. I'm so good at it. You get so used to combat and how to deal with hunger. It was incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
And so day one, after I fixed the bug that I launched as soon as I launched the game, when I launched the game, I uploaded it to Steam with a copy of my day 57 save game in there. The first 2 people to buy it got an end game save game included as well. Oops. But yeah, the community have helped.
Yeah.
Not only with suggestions for the points of interest and the random events, things that they've just helped me figure out what's fun and what isn't.
Yeah.
Because it is nigh on impossible to know for sure what people are going to enjoy. I know what I think's fun.
Yeah.
And it's pretty clear, I think, when you look at the game, just silliness. But as far as, same with YouTubers, the support from YouTubers and Twitch and stuff has been fantastic.
So you've got a
and
lot
that
of
helps
coverage from
so much. Not necessarily just in a sales kind of way, but I'm getting to literally watch people play it for the first time with completely fresh eyes, and then see thousands of comments from people who are also seeing it with fresh eyes for the first time, and that is absolutely invaluable.
That feedback.
You have to you hire a what's it called, the test group.
Like a focus tester.
Focus group. That's the one. I'd need a focus group of thousands of people in a room playing it without them knowing I was watching them.
Yeah.
And that's what YouTube is. It's just, and the forum community's been just as helpful.
Oh no, excellent. So is it out of early access now? A full game release?
Yep, full game release. What happened? I did 9 months of early access, and it got to the point where I thought, well, it's not that I'm finished working on it, but it's an open world sandboxy game. I can continue working on this forever.
Yeah.
the spreadsheet I've got, which keeps track of my ideas, now forces my laptop struggles more to open that spreadsheet than it does to run the Unreal Engine. That's how ridiculous the game's become.
Excellent.
But yeah, I got to the point where I thought, well, if somebody doesn't like it now, they're not going to like it. No matter how much, I'll just be adding more stuff they don't like. So that was the decision when I left. That was the mindset when I left Early Access.
Yeah. Okay. And I suppose I'm going to loop right back to the beginning a bit, so doing things out of sequence. But so you've been 3-year development cycle on your own?
On my own, yeah. It's a very sad time. Nobody spoke to me, just crying in a room by myself. No. It has been on my own development-wise.
So what prompted you to do that? Did you think, just that's it, this is what I'm going for? Have you
what prompted me to do it by myself?
Yeah.
Years and years ago, I went to uni very briefly to do computer video game design. Realised I'm not a big fan of formal education. Dropped out 3 months later. Spent the next 10 or so years running a completely irrelevant and boring e-commerce business.
Yeah.
Got so insanely bored with that. And I've never lost my passion for gaming. I always wanted to get back into it. Picked up Unity, started playing around with that. Never gelled with it that much. Then I had 6 months away doing other boring businessy things. And when I came back to development, the Unreal Engine had just switched their business model to be commission type based. Yeah. Picked up the Unreal Engine and just instantly fell in love. I'm not a good programmer, and the Unreal Engine allows me to work around that flaw.
Oh, that's good.
And so I just sat down and brute forced my way through it, learning as I went.
Yeah.
You know, Wrongworld started off as one of several prototype ideas, and it was the one that was the most enjoyable.
Oh, fantastic.
And then a year later, it's like, hang on, I've got a game here.
Yeah.
I best polish it and get it out.
Excellent. And that's all you're doing full-time now?
Yeah, full-time now. Wrongworld, dedicated to that for at least the next year.
Yeah.
I've got update 1.1 came out recently, added caving, spelunking system. 1.2 will be a custom mode, so people can fully tweak the difficulty.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the game will figure out whether they still deserve XP or not when they die and stuff like that.
Yeah.
After that, it's probably, I'm still going to keep doing updates, but it's probably time for me to do console-y based things.
Right, so is there a feel you might want to move it over to consoles, or would you do something different entirely?
No, well, I want to attempt, because it's my first time going through this process, I feel like it'd be silly for me not to at least try to get through because I'm still learning as I go. Everything's a big learning experience. Yeah. So yeah, I want to get, I've got an Xbox dev kit set up, ready to get a PlayStation dev kit.
Yeah.
Switch is a slightly different story.
Yes.
You probably heard this elsewhere, but Nintendo are not quite as much of an open book, bending over backwards to help you. But if you're watching Nintendo, please send me a Switch dev kit, please. My game is deserving of it. It's kind of based on N64 era graphics, so you should love it. Please stop ignoring my emails.
We'll get that to Reggie.
Thanks. Thanks.
No, that's excellent. And I suppose just one final thing. Without spoiling anything for anyone, what's your favourite bit of the game that people might not discover easily?
Favourite bit of the game? I don't think you... No, it wasn't you. If you get abducted by a UFO,
right.
Which a UFO appears from time to time, you might see it abducting other things.
Yeah.
One of my favourite things is what happens to the player if you do allow it to abduct you.
I dread to think.
Spoiler, in case you don't want to know, but it turns you inside out. And then spawns you back into the world. So you run around as a horrible, veiny, sausage-looking thing instead for the rest of the game. Until you manage to fix yourself, maybe, one day. But from a technical point of view, one of my favourite things is the nighttime and title screen music.
We'll try to find a way home.
Which is just randomly generated music. I could never sell a soundtrack to that game because it's randomly generated. It's basically picks from 3 different synthesizers, picks random notes in E minor, triggers them at random, plays random percussion.
Oh, wow.
And that's, even though it was quite simple to do, it's one of the bits I'm most proud of how it turned out. Because I love music, so music's...
I've got to say that day-night transition.
The day-night transition,
That was really nice. I just sat there, wow.
The night sky as well. A lot of people like the night sky, and see, that was just me sat down and thought, what can I make the night sky look like? Well, Van Gogh's got that famous painting. Let's try and make it like that.
No, excellent.
Like I was saying earlier as well, the setting of the game is so ridiculous that it does allow me to just, whatever fun things occur to me, I can put them in without spoiling the setting, without spoiling the flow.
No. Well,
it's so inconsistent. it's consistent.
By taking that as the box score. All right, no, thanks very much. Thanks
No
for showing
worries.
us the game. Thanks for spending some
Thank
time
you.
with us, Jamie.
Glad you
It's
had
been
fun.
great. And Wrongworld is out now on Steam.
Cheers.
Thanks very much.